Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans, droids, Kiadi Undiconeheads across our beloved empire. Welcome to the top 10 best investment characters in Star Wars galaxies that aren't galactic legends, that aren't absurd things you already know about. Wat Tambor. You already know about that. I brought a special guest on today to talk about it with me. We technically made this into a top 20 video, but we split it up and we have the one, the only Cubs fan, Han! Battle the air horns. How we doing, my man? It is the night before the next batch of Jedi Master Kenobi requirements, and all of our minds are on that. But we got to talk about something in the meantime. But tell me, how's it going over in your end of the universe?
Here's what we need to talk about is how fast you can talk. Your intro almost sounds like a rap now. Like I want to get some.
I'm waiting for Eminem to respond. I'm waiting for him to respond, man. I just he doesn't want to respond to you for whatever reason. It's okay. It's all right. Work at your own pace, Eminem. But
pretty good.
We got a lot to talk about in this video here. Be sure to check out Cubs Fan Han's video. As I said, we're talking about the top 10 investment characters you just cannot go wrong with. They're plug and play. They're going to be used for a long time in this game. Cubs has the first 10 on the list. We're going to talk about these next 10 right over here, and I'm opening up with this. You had a lot of great characters in your video that we talked about. I'm going to call it right now. I think Moff Gideon is the best non-legendary, non-galactic legend, easily accessible plug and play character in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes right now. Would you agree with that assessment?
100%. We fought over this character. We had a little spar beforehand, and Arnold won the tossle, and he got to include Moff Gideon in his video because we both agree that this is by far the best plug and play. That AoE Terminator strip is just insanely valuable, and you combine that with the fact that he is the fastest non-galactic legend character in the game.
Yep.
You always get a chance to go first if you've got the mods for it, and you're not going up against a galactic legend. You can start every match very far ahead, and this you see him working in Padme teams. You see him working with the Bad Batch, obviously, which you have very masterfully displayed on your streams. Obviously, you see him in Troopers. You see him in every team
Vader
possible.
teams,
Vader teams. It's just, he's there. He is that.
He is used for so many situations. Luckily, it's all because he is the fastest non-galactic legends character, now tied with Echo more recently. And because are you the tall person in your family? Or do you have a tall person in your family where there's something a little out of reach, so you get the tall person to go grab it for you? That is exactly what Moff Gideon's about. Speed is the most important thing in the game, and if you can't reach those speeds, chances are Moff Gideon's going to be that tall guy to get onto that top shelf and bring it down to your level and get you ahead of the ball game. I use him with Bounty Hunters. As you said, you can use it with Padme, Bad Batch. I've seen him in so many different lineups, and the cool thing is things like a Sith Gucci Man, the Sith Eternal, or the Darth Treya. They can't lose turn meter, and instead they gain turn meter as well. There are so many ways to use this guy, and of course, he also has the Demoralize, which is great in and of its own. I love him with Bounty Hunters, for example, or a Sing with normal Mando. You can get rid of General Anakin Skywalker in 10 seconds with this guy. Outrun Captain Rex. Fantastic. And the best part about it all, he's a free character you get now as a brand new player. Mind-blowing and extremely accessible on Cantina Battle 4E. Like, holy cow. If you're looking,
they gave us a very good deal on Moff Gideon.
I wonder if he's going to have a bigger future too. The legendary potential side in the future. I think this character, if you're looking for characters to invest in that will never go out of style, this is one of them. He's got great tags and he's got great plug and play viability. And this is the one I feel like we have to open up. The rest are in no particular order, but we got to talk about this guy here. Now, this list is not going to be all legendaries, but there are just some. You just got to plug in Malik, though. I mean, this guy, he is a bully. And now we're not going to talk about him soloing teams. We're focusing more on the plug and play aspects. He's using Sith Empire lineups. He's thrown in Supreme Leader Kylo lineups. He's thrown in Rey lineups just to annoy the crap out of Darth Vader for the most part because of the fact that he prevents that bonus turn meter. And if you accidentally land a critical hit on him, it can throw off your whole combo you're trying to pull up against the Rey. I mean, what are you seeing Malik for? I mean, I can go on and on about this guy, but I'm sure you've seen him in a lot of weird situations out there.
Yeah, there's just, the thing is you can slot him in his normal spot with Darth Revan, or you can hold him and you can use him anywhere. Literally anywhere. And I know we're not talking about solos right now, but what better plug and play viability could you have than plug and play with nobody and get 64 banners, you know?
Remember when we had our 3v3 showdown, you and I, and what was my opening play? I threw in my Malik to solo your clones, and I walked away with some massive banners. on that battle right there. So I guess in a way that is plug and play.
I'm still a little butthurt about that, and I still want my rematch.
Hey man, it was a close game, and we got to do a 5v5 one.
I'm like Captain Hook and Hook saying, "I want my war."
We got to get a 5v5 one. I feel like that'd be a little bit different. 3v3 is a little bit more wonky out there.
I'm better at ships now. I literally, since that Grand Arena, have focused so much attention on learning ships better, and I'm ready.
Well, I'm looking forward to the rematch, my friend. Next up on our list, number 3. I guess, again, no particular order. We're just kind of going by my more powerful characters out there by power level here. Chewbacca. Now, of course, he's used with Commander Luke Skywalker and Rebels easily. I'm sure you'd agree. Commander Luke in the ideal lineup, top 10 team out there right now, without a doubt in my mind. I say this nowadays in streams. I'm more worried about Commander Luke teams than I am about Galactic Legends, because once you take out the Galactic Legends, like, oh crap, I got to be careful with Commander Luke team. So Chewbacca obviously has a home in there, but the most important thing is the whole guard mechanic, and this really opens up the window for some really weird theory craft. Like, for example, one of the counters to Supreme Leader Kylo Ren out there is getting guard on 5s, and all of a sudden Kylo Ren just cannot kill off 5s, and Kylo Ren refuses to use his ultimate or AoE when 5s is standing because of the way he's hard programmed. So there are a lot of ways to put him in there and guard key characters. I see sometimes people like to guard, for example, some tanks out there. It's really weird how to get it to work out, but if you can guard the right character, he's going to make your life miserable. And the fact you can't stun him or critically hit them, it can really throw off some strategies for a lot of people. Are you seeing Chewbacca in a lot of plug and play situations?
So personally right now, I feel like he's been slotted so heavily into that CLS team because it's just so good that I'm not seeing him in plug and play situations as much.
That's the problem.
But that's not because he can't.
Exactly.
I think it's just because people are very married to that CLS team right now. But as the game progresses, I think we'll see more situations where he continues to be used plug and play, because he does have that viability in so many places as a kit. Not to mention he's got an AoE dispel, which is just never not usable. So and the damage and the guard, like you mentioned, can't stun guard characters.
It's funny. One of my favorite memories of when we first got Chewbacca is when you have when OG Finn was the thing back then. You would do OG Finn of C-3PO and then like BB-8 and Chewbacca, and you would guard, for example, BB-8, and every time Chewie would assist, he would apply expose on it, basically because of C-3PO. So there are a lot of funny ways to take advantage of him. I kind of wish he had a resistance tag, but I understand this is the original trilogy Chewbacca. But nonetheless, that guard mechanic is going to be used for a lot of different fun plug and play lineups here. Moving on.
Good way to trip people up.
Good way to trip people up. If you guard the right character, it really throws the strategy off for a lot of people out there. Kylo Ren Unmasked. Now, we talked about a specific take on your video. I want to say this outright. If you're a pre-taunting character, you are going to be in high demand for a long time, because as Grand Arena gets bigger and bigger and bigger, more teams are needed, or you have to fight more teams. The need for pre-taunting characters goes through the roof. And the great thing is, Kylo Ren Unmasked, a lot of people are going to have this guy unlocked, because most likely you're going to get a Supreme Leader Kylo one way or another, or just in general, he makes a fantastic first order team. But the pre-taunt is definitely the most important thing. The next thing is, he's basically immune to Malik. So if you're trying to, for example, plug him into a Darth Vader lineup to go after a Sith Empire team, and you accidentally tick Malik off, and he has to go after Kylo Ren because he doesn't take any percent health damage, he can't drain life, and which is fantastic. And of course, he's got a tenacity down on his basic, and he's got a 2-turn stun. So he is a tank that is very durable, prevents Malik from running you over, and he's got a lot of control of that tenacity down and stuns. Are you using him for any other things out there? I use it for example, Sith Eternal. Like sometimes I'll do Sith Eternal with the armor and I need a tank, and usually I'll throw in Kylo Ren in there or those Darth Vader lineups. But what are you using him for nowadays?
So it depends on if I place my SOKR on defense or not. In situations where I place him on defense, I do like to have a double taunting tank. Or double taunting situation. So I do put Kylo Ren in there with first order officer. I think it just makes that team more tricky. But a lot of times I'll hold my SOKR, and I kind of like to solo somebody with SOKR, get some extra banners. And then my Kylo Ren is able to be used in so many different situations. He's kind of like a bailout character a lot of times for me. When I need a tank, even if I haven't lost a battle, sometimes it's just like, maybe I'm going to try this solo, but I want some added security here with my Treya trio against Bugs, for example. And so I'm going to put Kylo Ren in there or something like that. That's probably not the best example.
It's actually funny. I want to bring this up is that because he's so plug and play lately, I've been not using with Supreme Leader Kylo on defense. It's like, I kind of want to keep him for offense just as that added blanket of security, because he is such a good pre-taunting tank. that can be used in a lot of situations. So I lately just put First Order Officer with Supreme Kylo Ren, and I'll keep Kylo Ren on mask because I feel like he's just going to be more useful for some sort of offensive plug-and-play trick. So a great character, free to play, very easily accessible as well. It's going to be used for a long time in this game. Pre-taunting characters, you can't, there's not, I don't think there's, Baze Malbus is maybe the only pre-taunting character I'm not crazy about, but it's still, he has his uses. Yeah, and that says a lot.
He had his time to shine, all right?
He had his time to shine, yeah. I mean, he can be used with Mon Mothma, of course, but still, not as, he's the pre-taunt, he can be useful, but usually Kylo Ren and Mask takes the cake when it comes to pre-taunting. But speaking of pre-taunting, what if I told you there's a character that gave you a pre-taunt and another character that came along with it? Well, let me present to you the Genos.
Who's his character?
Genos and Brood Alpha.
We fought over this one too.
Yeah, we fought over this one. Yeah. It's just, man, the ability, as I said, pre-taunting characters are never in short supply. Now, I'm looking at this from a very endgame perspective. Eventually, Geonosians kind of fall out of favor in terms of a defensive viability, that eventually you don't use them as much for offense. But having another pre-taunting character and a character that can keep summoning that pre-taunt back is never something that can go out of favor. Again, I remember some of the first Galactic Legends raids counters is we use Genos and Brood Alpha with things like Darth Revan, for example. So you can have the Brute constantly take the sudden whirlwinds off your shoulders, and then you just keep bringing it back over and over again. Other than that, I mean, he's got the buff, the spell, and stuff like that, which is fine. You can remove 15%, turn it from debuff. Then he's really, I think it's just the Queen's will, being able to bring in someone from the start that come along with you. It's a 2-for-1 character special. I can't say much more about it.
And let's just talk about the early game too, because the plug and play viability is through the freaking roof. In the early game, I got one of my really good friends in real life just started playing the game maybe 7 months ago, and his bugs are king for him. He's free to play. He's got his bugs team relicked, and his Brood Alpha is just destroying everybody in so many different situations.
Genosians are extremely annoying. I got my free-to-play account too, and Genos are really the only team I really struggle up against. That's a free-to-play accessible team. Very deadly team, but in terms of plug and play, it's one of those characters you need if you're playing Galaxy Heroes. You got to use him to get the Wat Tambor character, but after that, he's just used for so much. So you cannot play Galaxy Heroes without him. And now we move on to Captain Rex. He is kind of the yin to the yang of Moff Gideon. I mean, I think honestly, when you think of the longest term plug and play character, like if you ask a lot of people, I know I say Moff Gideon's the best plug and play right now, but if you ask someone randomly on the street that plays Galaxy Heroes, you know, everyone plays Galaxy Heroes nowadays. The first thing they're probably going to say is Captain Rex. Somewhat fast character, not as fast as Gideon.
Leadership abilities.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that lead. There was a lot of fun. I don't use it as much as anymore, but you can still have plenty of fun with the Brothers in Arm leader. I think the most important thing that we look to is that cleanse, as well as the massive turn meter gains paired along with him. But yes, I think we can't overlook the fact that Brothers in Arms was, I have to think hard about this. I'm trying to think if there's any other better plug and play lead in the game right now. I'm really leaning to that. Brothers in Arms might be the best.
Maybe
not as good as Brothers in Arms. Being able to get tons of turn meter.
Not even close. But it's kind of plug and play, I guess.
This might be the best non-legendary plug and play lead out there. I remember, for example, when Jedi Knight Luke was trying to find his home when he first came, I remember I would throw him with my leftover clone team, and then I'd put Captain Rex in, throw in Jedi Knight Luke, and hey, it would work. You can't go wrong. It works. So many people get that turn meter. He just gets so much turn meter associated. Obviously, we see him more being used of clones in the 501st, but there comes a point where Jedi Knight Skywalker gets taken away by Jedi Knight Revan or Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, and then Captain Rex is all by himself. Well, having a form up, having Brothers in Arms, and of course, he can build up that aerial advantage. This is one of those characters I don't think you can ever go wrong in Galaxy Heroes with gearing up. I mean, do you disagree?
No.
You better not.
Rex is a character I would say I'm almost nostalgic about at this point.
Very nostalgic.
He's just one of those old characters, and I'm not even talking about the lore, just for Galaxy Heroes specifically. Like, he's been with us this whole time, and he's always been viable.
He was one of the first, what did they call it back then? Rhodium Pack characters that came to the game. It was like him and Sunfax were the OGs, first pay-to-play characters, and he was so hard to get. And then eventually became free to play, and people had so much fun with him. I hope he stays relevant for
a permanent leader for everything.
Everything. Yeah, he used to be part of the original Titan team. We talked about it on your channel, actually. Yeah, we can go on and on about this character. I mean, this is a no-brainer, Ryder, but we got to move on. This is a little bit newer. I'm going to call, just like I called Moff Gideon when he came out. I was like, this is going to be one of the best plug-and-play characters of all time, and indeed it was. Echo, I'm not going to go to the degree of Moff Gideon plug and play viability. No way whatsoever. But man, when you got speeds in Moff Gideon's territory.
I was going to ask you to show me that speed. Ooh,
it's not as fast
sexy
as Moff Gideon. My Moff Gideon's 371. So 351, I know. I'm kind of a noob. I know. But ideally,
371, that's it?
Yeah, and my Moff Gideon, I know. It's chump change speeds, right?
I want to see. I don't think I have you beat. I'm pretty close to that, though. Let's see. I'm looking right now. My Moff Gideon's at 358.
Yeah.
All right.
It's still a good number.
Wow.
The reason why I make Moff Gideon so fast is because as a result, I can outrun 95% of Captain Rex's out there. That's why I need him to be as fast as possible. That's actually another pro tip. Going back to Moff Gideon, make him the fastest character in your roster, and so you can plug him into whatever situation arises. But Echo, really, it's one ability that I want to talk about here. Of course, he's got a lot of fun uses with the Bad Batch. Bad Batch, I think, are coming to top 10 teams, non-galactic legends in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. A lot of fun.
I think so.
Yeah, a lot of fun with the clone troopers. He's kind of got this weird, almost like a Barris type of mechanic on him in some way. Every time you're gaining and losing buffs, clone trooper allies are going to be getting protection, health back. But really, it's this right here. It's kind of, in some degree, having an extremely fast Emphas Nest. Opening up right away with the daze and healing immunity. Like, I would be scared if I saw an Echo that I could not outrun with my Imperial troopers. Does me no good if I'm starting off with a bunch of dazes and I can't run away with all of my Imperial trooper turret meters. So of course, this character is great with the Bad Batch right now, but if you're trying to plug in some weird lives, like I've been seeing people take advantage of their non-built up Bad Batch right now, and they've been using Echo, for example, with the Padme Amidala. And just like throwing him in there. He's going to be somewhat durable with the Padme lead, opening up with a bunch of dazes, and that could really throw off the Imperial troopers going up against them. So I don't know what the degree of end game plug and play viability is going to be, but I'd like to throw this one on the list as a spicy one because I think this is a character we got to point to the future, opening up with the healing immunity, dazes, and also being a fast character. I think he's going to have a nice degree of plug and play viability in the future, but right now he's all about the Bad Batch. Any thoughts? I know you haven't had a chance to play Bad Batch as much, but you've seen what they can do when Echo's all about.
Yeah, so I watched this guy. There's a streamer. I'm trying to remember his name. He was dressed up in like an Empire outfit or something like that, and I was he wailed on the whole Bad Batch. Can you believe that?
He would pay money on a mobile game. What a freaking noob.
He spent money on a mobile game, and everything I saw once Echo hit was just blowing my mind, and I just thought I can't wait to have this guy. So my exposure is you is what you've been able to do, and I've got a patron who has also lent me his account and let me kind of play around with him a little bit, but it was mostly just in Conquest, so I didn't get a great deal. So my knowledge is limited, but so far what I'm seeing is just really exciting, and I can't wait to use him.
I should probably bring this up too. He's also got the expose on all the enemies and a buff menu, so he's got like nice plug and play mechanics to buff the spells and
checks all the boxes. There's so much there.
I mean, opening up with a mass buff the spell is fantastic. Granted, he's not going to be able to feed the turn meter to non-Bad Batch units on the team, but still buff the spell, healing immunity, dazes, exposes, buff immunity. Those are all fantastic things to have in a kit, and the fact that he's fast, that's what really makes it. Because if he was a slow character, I don't know if he would be on this list. Being fast, we have your eye. We have our eyes on you all of a sudden. Next up, Emphas Nest. Speaking of Bad Batch, a moment ago, I don't know if word caught your direction.
I don't think she's very plug and play.
Nah.
This is a bad pick.
This girl, all jokes aside, is the Great Wall of China of Galaxy of Heroes. That's one of those characters where you can deal with her. Like, we do have tools to deal with her, but like, I just want to pull this up because we talked about Bad Batch a moment ago. Yesterday on a stream, we were killing it. We were going up against a very competitive opponent. Big shout out to Chimi, I believe that was the name, Sins of the Father. And we got to this Padme with Nest on there. It's like, all right, I'm going to just send the Bad Batch. And I was kind of saying, I don't know if Bad Batch can handle a Nest. So I obliterate everyone else on the Padme team. And then I couldn't, I couldn't kill off Nest. This is one of those characters that the annoying stacking bonus protection, and the fact that she's got terminable stuns, dazes. She is probably, my gosh, one of the ultimate plug and play attacker characters in this game. I see her in Separatist, Galactic Republic, Clone. I mean, I don't think there is any faction she has not been in. She's been a Sith trio. She's been a Darth Revan. She is literally, I'm trying to honestly think if there's any faction she has not been a part of. And I can't think of it. She can be used in any type of faction. If you're looking for an annoying character for Grand Arena defense or offense, this character can solo tons of teams out there, but also can be plugged in. This is a high investment character that just doesn't seem to go away with the presence of Grand Arena.
She never will. I don't think there's a single character in this game that I have said this character is broken to more. Like cannot
She's broken.
tell you how many times I've been sitting down playing Galaxy Heroes, either on stream or off stream, and I just think this character is so broken. Just, you get caught behind that protection up, and it doesn't matter. You can know exactly how to approach it. Obviously, it's been burned into all our memories. It's still going to catch you here and there. There's going to be moments where you're like, oh, crap, here we go.
Yeah, it's like it's either you got to time out the right hit, you have to wait for her to drop. It has to, like, it's so annoying when she takes a turn, she drops both protection, and the next person to take a turn doesn't have enough damage to kill her off, so you're back in square one again. And God forbid if you accidentally remove turn meter on her. Oh, it's again, we can go on and on. Gear up this character. If you care about Grand Arena, you're going to use this character for age. I don't think there's been a single time I haven't used her.
If we were ranking them, so we've got obviously Thrawn and Watt, we agree are the best plug and play characters in the game. Which so good that they ascended off of our lists. We've got Moff Gideon is probably the first up after that. You could make a case that Nest is next.
I think Nest is easily top 5 plug and play character in this game. Yeah, easily. I mean, you could debate 4 and 5, but I think honestly right now you have Watt, Thrawn, Moff Gideon, and Nest and Captain Rex. I think that's probably your list of like the 5 best plug and play characters. Like if you had to actually rank them all between both of our lists here, easily Nest. Oh my God, I feel like we talked too long about her. Darth Treya, I believe this. We have 2 more on the list actually. Number 9 here. Spoiler! Darth Treya. Now, again, it's a legendary. It's not as exciting to talk about legendary characters, but I think it's good to know that even a raid character that is not in prime time anymore, having the isolate, having the ability blocks, reducing cooldowns, being able to throw debuffs back onto the opposing enemy does not go out of favor. Like, she can't counter Galactic Legends. I use her so much with my Darth Vader, for example, to go after Rays, pulling a tank out of the situation. It's like a fracture, more or less, and reducing the cooldowns on Vader, getting him to get back into Merciless Massacre as fast as possible. You can't go wrong with that ice. I feel like beyond that, that's kind of what's keeping her in plug and play. Of course, her unique ability, being able to passively cleanse off debuffs on Sith, doesn't go wrong, but of course that's kind of constrained to the Sith. But just having someone to pull a character out of the battle, making him not work whatsoever, not be able to share their bonuses with other people, not be able to feed turn meter. I mean, it's like Captain Rex, he's great plug and play, but if you isolate him, he just becomes one of the worst characters in the game all of a sudden. So anything else you want to add? A lot
of characters that isolate and everything that comes along with it, including the cooldown increase and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, with Treya, I think we might see a little shift with Treya. She's one of those characters who I have kind of on my sights for going into Grand Arena defenses once we see the expansion. I think we might see more of that once we expand. But for now, probably her most valuable use is countering Galactic Legends without Galactic Legends. That Vader team that you mentioned is where I see her use being the most valuable right now to counter some of those GLs. And so, yeah, they're absolutely plug and play.
And we got one more on the list.
Just like I'm predicting the armor is next.
Yeah, maybe. You got a good hunch. I want to say this, though. We both made our list. There's 3 raid characters, right? And the Treya is important on the list because you want your raid character to be good for a long time. We didn't. Can I spoil your video? There's no Kenobi on either of our videos in terms of plug and play.
You spoiled your video and my video now. You're just a spoiler.
I'm sorry. I have to got to clickbait. Got to get them views right. People are going to be sitting at the 25-minute mark of this video and be like, "Oh my gosh, he just ruined the whole video for me." Anyways, Armor is the last. I mean, Kenobi does have plug and play, but I don't think he's as amazing plug and play as he used to be. Anyways, Armor on the list here. Someone could probably make the argument Kenobi should be here over the Armor, to be honest. She has viability with the Galactic Legends out there. Being able to get this is the way the armor shred's fantastic, but really it's to earn your signet that really kind of gets her to be a budget Wat Tambor. She, for example, allows the Sith Eternal to basically solo Supreme Leader Kylo Ren teams. And that's kind of a big deal because Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is the hard counter to Sith Eternal. Now Sith Eternal doesn't care about Supreme Leader Kylo anymore. So she's got a lot of vibe. But I've used her with Jawas before. In GOTB, I've gotten many 4 out of 4s. She could be used, for example. Awesome. Yeah, that was actually my favorite use out of her, is using her with the Jawas and GOTB and to get work done. She can be found in a lot of different lineups out there. So it's one of those where I feel like she was kind of cutting it. I was almost tempted not to, just because she's not as Wat Tambor as I would like her to be. But still, nonetheless, if you're trying to find that budget Wat Tambor that can really escalate your team on the offensive. I don't like her on defense. She doesn't seem to know what she's doing. Yeah. But if you bring her on the offense and you know exactly what you're doing, try to get that earn your signet over on, for examter, the Beskar armor, throw it on like a Zalbar or something like that, or a Bosk, or for example, Sith Thrawn or someone else. I've thrown on Canderous before. You can all of a sudden really take your team to the whole other level. So I think this character might be more appreciated over time, but right now we are seeing her being plug and play. And it's funny, unlike the other characters which work great in their factions, she does not work great with the Mandalorians. Mandalorians don't really work as well at all, but she works fine with everyone else out there, it seems like.
She's only plug and play.
She's only plug and play. That's really it. All right.
One of the few characters you'd say that about.
Yeah, so that's going to be our top 10 list here. Be sure to check out Cubs Fan for the other top 10 list that we put together in regards to the best investment plug and play characters that we have here. I know, of course, we're always chasing after the best teams, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, you want to also invest in characters that are going to withstand the test of time in Galaxies, because top teams come and go, but all these teams or these characters we put out today, they've been around for a while. Echo's the newer one, and as well as the armor, but all these other characters, they've been here for a long time. And especially if you care about Grand Arena and Territory Wars, these characters are going to pop up over and over again. So these characters, I think, and the ones we put on your list, you can't go wrong, my friend.
Nope. Farm them all.
Farm them all. All
Drop
right.
all the money. Go.
Any last words you want to throw out there? Anything, maybe any statement about Han Solo? Did he shoot first? I don't know. I still think it's debatable to this day.
How is that debatable?